The United States and Ukraine are on the verge of signing a significant minerals deal. This agreement has the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape, particularly concerning critical mineral supply chains. The deal aims to grant the United States access to Ukraine's vast mineral reserves. In return, Ukraine would receive financial support for its ongoing reconstruction efforts. This pact has been lauded by some as a strategic masterstroke. However, it has also drawn sharp criticism from others who view it as exploitative and potentially detrimental to Ukraine's long-term interests. The deal's proposed signing ceremony, scheduled for April 30, 2025, was abruptly postponed. This unexpected delay has fueled speculation and raised questions about the agreement's future. At the heart of the impasse lie concerns about governance, transparency, and the traceability of funds. These issues have become major sticking points in the negotiations, highlighting the complexities of forging agreements amidst geopolitical uncertainty. The proposed deal has ignited fierce debate both domestically and internationally. Supporters argue that it represents a strategic win-win situation. They emphasize the economic benefits for both nations and the potential to counter China's dominance in the critical minerals sector. Conversely, critics argue that the agreement could exacerbate existing power imbalances. They express concerns about potential environmental damage and the erosion of Ukrainian sovereignty. Proponents of the deal, particularly within the Trump administration, view it as a mutually beneficial agreement. They highlight the potential for significant economic gains for both countries. For the United States, securing access to Ukraine's mineral wealth is crucial for maintaining its technological edge. Ukraine, on the other hand, desperately needs financial assistance to rebuild its infrastructure and economy, ravaged by the ongoing conflict with Russia. The deal promises to provide Ukraine with a much-needed influx of capital. This would be directed towards reconstruction projects, stimulating economic growth and creating jobs. Additionally, the agreement is expected to attract foreign investment in Ukraine's mining sector. This would lead to technological advancements and increased productivity. The Trump administration argues that the deal represents a fair exchange. The United States is leveraging its economic and political might to assist a vulnerable ally, while simultaneously securing its own strategic interests. However, critics argue that the deal is skewed in favor of the United States. They claim that the Trump administration is exploiting Ukraine's precarious position to secure valuable resources at a bargain price. They point to the long history of powerful nations exploiting resource-rich countries under the guise of aid and development. These critics argue that the deal could trap Ukraine in a cycle of dependency, hindering its long-term economic growth and development. Furthermore, concerns have been raised about the potential environmental impact of increased mining activities in Ukraine. Ukraine possesses a diverse ecosystem, and expanded mining operations could lead to deforestation, habitat loss, and water pollution. Critics argue that the deal prioritizes short-term economic gains over long-term environmental sustainability. They call for a more comprehensive assessment of the potential ecological consequences. The planned signing ceremony for the U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal was abruptly postponed. This unexpected delay has cast a shadow of uncertainty over the agreement's future. The last-minute snag arose from the United States' insistence on Ukraine signing 2 technical side deals in addition to the main agreement. These side deals, according to U.S. officials, are essential for ensuring the deal's effective implementation and addressing concerns related to governance, transparency, and accountability. However, Ukrainian negotiators have expressed reservations about the side deals, viewing them as an attempt by the United States to exert greater control over the agreement's terms. Ukrainian officials argue that these side deals introduce new conditions that were not part of the original negotiations. They claim that these conditions could undermine Ukrainian sovereignty and limit their control over their own resources. The Ukrainian delegation has attempted to reopen previously agreed-upon terms within the main agreement. This move has been met with resistance from the U.S. side, further complicating the situation. The United States has maintained that the side deals are non-negotiable and essential for mitigating risks associated with corruption and mismanagement. The impasse has led to a war of words between officials from both countries. This further underscores the deep divisions and mistrust that have come to characterize the negotiations. The delay has raised questions about the Trump administration's commitment to a deal that it had previously championed. Some analysts speculate that the last-minute demands could be a tactic to extract further concessions from Ukraine. Others suggest that the delay might be linked to domestic political calculations in the United States, as the Trump administration seeks to solidify its support base ahead of upcoming elections. At the heart of the impasse over the U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal lies a fundamental disagreement over governance. The proposed agreement outlines the creation of a reconstruction fund. This fund would manage the revenue generated from Ukraine's mineral resources. However, the two countries have yet to agree on the fund's structure, management, and oversight mechanisms. The United States is pushing for a governance structure that gives it significant control over the fund's operations. This includes veto power over key decisions related to investment, spending, and revenue allocation. U.S. officials argue that this level of control is necessary to ensure transparency, accountability, and the efficient use of funds. They express concerns about corruption within Ukraine and the potential for mismanagement of resources. Ukraine, however, is resistant to ceding too much control over its own resources. Ukrainian negotiators argue that the proposed governance structure undermines their sovereignty and limits their ability to prioritize their own development needs. They are pushing for a more balanced approach. This approach would give Ukraine a greater say in how the reconstruction fund is managed. The dispute over governance highlights the power dynamics at play in the negotiations. The United States, with its economic and military might, holds a position of strength. Ukraine, still grappling with the consequences of the conflict with Russia, is in a more vulnerable position. This makes it challenging for Ukraine to negotiate on a level playing field and secure terms that are truly in its best interests.